Many people don't think much about where their water comes from or where their garbage goes. Those utilities are an established part of urban infrastructure. But in parts of rural Nebraska, those services are not available for a variety of reasons. In those cases, the NRDs fill those needs.
A lot of the people in our district were really interested about recycling. Our problem is the local communities couldn't afford to have any trailers or to move recyclables to end market. With the help of the Environmental Trust, we were able to put together a program where we put recycling trailers in all of our major villages. We have several villages that are unincorporated that don't have any such service. They have to have a paid service for their garbage, but they don't take recyclables. So we're able to help those out as well.
Well, we get about 1,100 pounds of cardboard just out of Thedford every week. Probably a little over that. But that's a lot of cardboard.
Jack Brummett runs the recycling plant and makes trips around the district picking up recyclables and bringing them back to the plant for baling.
And this is just a week's worth right here.
Our people that live out of town or in the country, they actually have asked us to have trailers put out in their area so that it makes it a little bit easier for them to recycle as well.
Jack worked as a technician for the Upper Loop NRD for 19 years and then served for 6 years on the NRD board. He now works part-time as a district's recycling coordinator.
When you work for the Upper Loop NRD, you don't get to retire. They just recycle you.
In spite of abundant groundwater and rivers throughout the state, for some Nebraskans, water is not easy to come by. The local NRDs work with their communities to provide a safe and reliable solution.
This is the source of water for the water system that serves 850 customers in 4 towns in northeast Nebraska and Cedar and Knox County. Probably 500 square miles that we cover. The availability of groundwater is very limited in this part of Nebraska. Wells have to go very deep, and the water that they get, because it is hard, isn't a good quality source. We take water out of Lewis and Clark Lake about a mile from here and treat it through a surface water treatment plant. From there, it all is gravity feed through the treatment plant, where we have a lime softening system that works to take all the sediment out of the water and purify it, and then it goes through filters and is chlorinated before we send it out for distribution. So this is a good alternative that we've used to provide the citizens with a good quality water source.
The Wortman family farm is on the Cedar Knox rural water system.
It's excellent water all the time. You know, we probably take it for granted because we have some friends that they don't have access to it, and so they're on well water, and so they have to constantly test for nitrates.
Fill it up.
Right.
And it's very inexpensive. I mean, for us to build a well, I ran the numbers, it would be like 30 some years in order to pay that money, you know, to recoup the cost. And that doesn't include the energy costs and everything. So it may even be longer than that, I don't know, but it's allowed us to live here, really.
As a resident or a young boy growing up just outside of Gilead, one of the things that was my chore was to pump water from a cistern, put it in a copper boiling pot, and we'd boil the water, and then Mom would use that in an old wringer wash machine to do the laundry. Dad signed up for the water project, and she was soon able to get an electric clothes washer.
Memories like these remind Mike Onnen of the importance of his role, along with other NRD managers across the state, in keeping their communities viable and in balance with available resources. Through 16 rural water systems and more than 2,500 miles of pipe, NRDs deliver water to nearly 20,000 Nebraskans.
This is a pump station for the Little Blue Natural Resource District's public water supply project. Altogether, we have about 240 miles of buried pipeline that serves rural customers in Thayer, Jefferson County, Nebraska, and also Washington County, Kansas.
Adding capacity to any rural water system is not a simple proposition, which is why it is good to think about where your water comes from.
if they're moving out into the country, they obviously need to consider what are the water sources. Are there water sources such as groundwater available? Or if not, are there rural water systems? And is the water system still able to take new customers?
The natural resources districts are there to answer these kinds of questions. They provide guidance and education for landowners, as well as cost share programs for water projects.